The Petroleum Revenue Special Task Force, which is led by Madam Nuhu Ribadu's committee. That report which was submitted, and of course we're focusing on that a whole lot this week. And I was joined by Mr Ademola Ogunkunle, who is an accountant. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure. Good morning.
Okay, incidentally, yes, they were supposed to verify and do some accounting because eventually the terms of reference, absolutely. But since that was not done, in terms of some of those accounts were not verified, what could anybody have done? I mean, could the government have relied on unverified accounts and forge ahead? But although they say a lot of it was verified, and so government could have acted upon it, that's why people are divided on this matter. What do you think?
Well, basically, the first thing we have to look at is what are the terms of reference of the Revenue Committee itself. We are looking at a situation where the oil revenue is not being well tracked over the years. And the government deemed it fit, just like they set up other committees to look at various sectors of the oil industry. This was just supposed to look at the revenue streams, how to better them, put in matrices, computerization, and all that to ensure that the oil revenue is well tracked, well accounted for over the period, which was not being done, or not being well done. But along the line, I guess that the terms of reference were not strictly followed. For one reason, I don't know. But by the time of the report, which is what we're all talking about now, at the time the report was to be submitted, or was asked to be submitted, there had been a report in the public domain, if you agree with me, that came out sometime in August, before another report was submitted to the government. But the terms of reference says that there should be monthly reports submitted. Why? The committee is not supposed to be a terminal committee. It's supposed to be a committee that goes on to work gradually, bringing up suggestions through their findings, recommendations for improving the system gradually. So there was really no place for a final report. At best, what they could always submit would be interim reports or progress reports. If you look at the terms of reference, there's the item 6 of the terms of reference of the committee says to submit monthly reports for ministerial review and further action. If that's part of the terms of reference, how come you are getting to submit a final report?
Wait, are you saying that monthly reports were not submitted?
How many? That report that was submitted was the final and only report submitted to the government.
No, but you can only get, when you say a final report, it presupposes that
there have been other reports.
Absolutely.
Definitely. But I'm telling you that if a report was submitted at all, it was this report that was submitted and there was a lot of drama.
So there was no report submitted to the minister 2 months prior to this final
The
submission?
report submitted to the minister, which you all saw, is the one that the president called for. Now, there was a report which was in August 2012. That was in the public domain that Reuters published. After that report came out, I think everybody became embarrassed. I know. We were supposed to submit monthly reports, and already that report is in the public domain. One of the members of the committee, Chief Anthony George Ikoli, took an editorial in the papers disclaiming that report. That's that August report that was in the papers. What did he say? I think that was in the Sun of 30th October, before the report that was submitted in November. What did he say? He said the committee's work and assignment is factual and all that. Now, there's an item saying, he said the necessary levels and procedures to identify figures, facts, and information, as well as mandatory authentication and cross-checking to ensure information data integrity and credibility cannot be said to have been done or carried out. The last paragraph there says, the obviously organized and syndicated leakage in the media is very unfortunate. It is an unnecessary exercise as it would neither aid the attainment of the anti-corruption agenda of the government or the terms of reference of the committee.
What did you say about the reports that were submitted months before this one?
There were none.
No report was submitted months before this one?
No report. There was no report.
If we look at this particular report now, what comes to mind again is the fact that we have two signatories, and if the deputy chairman or deputy head of that particular panel should also put a signature, how come he didn't sign that particular report, but just the secretary and the head.
Well, that's a question we need to ask, because if a committee submits a report, you expect that there will be a signature page where all members of the committee should rightly sign. That is not there. The only signatures we are talking about are the 2 signatures on the covering letter signed by the chairman and the secretary of the committee, not the vice chairman. So, signed, that's a covering letter.
Isn't that an indication that perhaps the others were not, should I say, in attendance while everything was being collated?
Well, I have minutes I've been privy to some minutes, of the committee meetings. I think they had about 8 sittings. And in fairness, a fair number of them did attend the meetings. Maybe you want to look at somebody like Oronsanye, who had something doing at that time. Remember, he was the chairman of the rationalization of some parastatals. And at the time he was appointed to be the chairman, to be the vice chairman of this committee, he still had that job ongoing, from what we saw.
In other words, he couldn't attend this.
He couldn't attend 2 meetings at a time.
So
at the time he was rounding up that meeting, that committee, he was available to attend this committee, and he attended 4 meetings. In fact, the 4 last meetings.
No, if he knew he was busy elsewhere, he couldn't give his 100%. Why hold on to the position?
Well, that's a brief that we may have to look at again. But then the truth is...
No, what do you think?
What I think is, he's just the vice chairman. There's a committee made up of about 26 members or thereabout. Are you following me?
So vice chairman
basically, if we have a committee of 26 people, are you getting my point? 26 people, while he could not attend. There's no way you be a member of the committee, for example, and attend 100%.
Yeah, but if you say he's just the vice chairman, why raise an eyebrow if you're just the vice chairman and you were not giving your 100% in the first instance?
No. At the time the committee started sitting, there were preliminary meetings. At the time he joined the meetings, the committee had started was getting to start its job fully. So he did contribute very well. And at that point that he joined, there were the issues of what are you doing, what level have we gotten to? No, we can't do this. Can we verify these figures? And all that, which was his own expert opinion as an accountant and also as a technocrat who had been on, I've been head of service and all that.
Now you're giving a different perspective, saying that, well, in all the 8 sittings, Mr. Oronsanye attended 4 of them. But on that day that Mr. Ribadu was speaking before the president and the Nigerian people, he said Mr. Oronsanye never for once attended any of the meetings.
That's not true.
How do you know?
I have minutes. I've been privy to minutes of the meetings.
Yeah, but how do we know that the meeting you got is the minute? Was it given to you by the chairman?
I can assure you that they are the minutes.
Was it from the
chairman? I
can
assure you. I have my sources. Can I tell you something?
Secretary?
Can I tell you something? The moment all this started, I, as a person, was wondering, what's all this drama about? And the reason is, you see somebody, at least you've, at a distance, appreciated, interacted with, and then you want to have an issue that's likely to taint his credibility. Now, Ribadu talks and everybody believes. He says this is the way, and with the posture he takes, whether he's saying the truth, whether he's not, the whole Nigeria believes him. One thing again I noticed is the moment we get issues to the public domain in this country, nobody really takes time to verify. What we are hearing, is it the truth? Now we have 2 gentlemen, one who was the head of service, who was a partner in a reputable firm in this country and in the world, saying this is my position. We have another gentleman saying, no, this is my position. What we should rightly do as Nigerians, which I took upon myself, is say, look, hey, I would rather want to look at the facts of this issue. Of course, it's what you can verify. I took my time. If Oronsanye says something, I'm tending to believe him because I know where he's coming from. He was the head of service. He was a top partner in Pitman with Nuhu Ribadu Co. before he came to the public service. I don't want to hear that kind of person talk, and then I push it aside.